Welcome, Aries. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do a full moon in Aquarius reading for you. The full moon's active this week on the 29th, and it is featuring many astrological aspects of import. But in particular, I hope to focus throughout this reading on the relationship of Pluto in Aquarius and Jupiter in Leo, which are mimicking the full moon energy between the sun and the moon. So this is a couple of oracle cards clarified by tarot cards, and I'll finish with an oracle card. I pulled these two cards to get us started from the wild unknown archetypes, words. Uranus is going to be going direct, I believe, tomorrow or so. So this should help, but I have been really struggling with words to describe what I'm experiencing. So I hope to be as clear as possible with you. I pulled the river for you, Aries, and the river reads, there's a reason so many rituals of change and rebirth take place in the river. It's forgiveness embodied in physical form. Without asking in return, the river washes away what is no longer necessary, smoothing over sharp edges and accepting all our mistakes and grievances. Once we step in, we no longer are in control. The river carries us further down the stream of transformation than we plan to go. Its waters have a special gift for reflecting back to us a new and dreamlike vision. Once the tears have passed, we see ourselves as we haven't before, with a little more lightness, grace, and fluidity. Keep in mind the you that stands within the river is the real you, full of deep emotion and potential. Nothing to hide, nothing to judge. Wow, I really love this. The theme of water and the rivers has been a focus of mine as I have been interrogating the mythological, in some cases historical, spiritual significance of the divine feminine and its relationship to the waters, particularly rivers wherever they occur. So we think of the Nile River as the most obvious example of spiritual evolution that is inclusive of and grounded in the divine feminine. So I'm going to also read from the Crystal Spirit Oracle about Smithsonite, and please forgive me if I say Samsonite by accident. I will be definitely dating myself, as Samsonite refers to some kind of luggage that used to be advertised on TV. From here to there can be a rocky road, one that may even seem to move under your feet as you engage in a process of healing with roiling emotions. Smithsonite's spirit message is clear as can be. You are haltingly moving forward into creating something new. If you feel as if you've been unsteady and even going a little backward at times, it is only because you're being asked to look to the past and lessons learned so that your next steps can be sure and steady. There's no need to look for what may seem to be safer ground. The landscape around you is changing. You are changing, and soon you will feel much more settled if you heed the call of Smithsonite spirit and trust that you'll be just fine. So this is kind of in line with the global consciousness right now. The idea that we have been changed by our experiences, and I'm thinking particularly for those of you that have consciously been seeking some kind of evolution of your awareness, some kind of healing journey or restoration, a sense that you have become more aware of the control you exert over the reality of your life, and you are clearing away those obstacles within you that have limited your forward process. So this is encouraging really the greater healing of transformation of the emotions that engage the entire collective, the global collective, and your focus on a shared vision of global well-being. So I'm going to start with the present, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. I do believe this is taking me to the idea that we're finding deep restoration and recovery in collective uh, uh, consciousness, collective awareness, collective effort towards building towards a vision that is shared. And this sense of global well-being is something that is shared of necessity by everyone who participates. Because it's conscious, it requires those that are aware to participate in a way that encourages a realization of far greater resources than the ones we've already and are already exploiting, depleting. Jupiter opposing that energy in Leo is talking about the courage and bravery that we need as individuals to be creative, to play, to use that as an empowered tool to make change. And so the Wheel of Fortune here is really describing the way in which, yes, again, the landscape is changing, conditions are changing in our social experience, and we are changing if we are moving towards a vision of ultimate well-being for all who have and can have access to that. This kind of consciousness does not make exceptions. This is inclusive of providing access to all, not just those that become aware, but it is our job when we are aware to help others to see and share and embrace a vision in which life becomes better for everyone, not just for some. In the past, we have the Five of Jades. This is describing a way that you are moving away from the way that you were expected to evolve, develop, grow, prosper, progress in life. There was something expected of you, and you have, with all uh, intent, moved beyond the expectation that was given to you. In fact, you move so far beyond it that you have crossed borders that others among your village, your family of origin, your culture would find to be violated. You have stepped over what is considered safe or advisable by many. And this is, for most of you, speaking about family of origin to some degree, but for many of you, this is about a specific community or collective or association that you have moved away from. It may have been a career path that you embraced, that you have evolved to expressing the same impetus for support, service, or enlightenment, information in broader ways. So you don't see yourself as abandoning anything that you were trained to do or that you have an avocation for. You see your moving, expanding beyond the boundaries or the limits that were prescribed as your natural growth and your authenticity to your initial desire to be of service. But this is something that others may see as threatening. They may see you as an outsider, as something of an outcast. And you see yourself, and others can also see you as a kind of a maverick, a rebel. In the future, the Seven of Swords is talking about something that you don't see, something that's difficult for you to see. And I can understand that there is this huge energy that is encouraging you to expand the way in which you make effort with others as part of a community or a team creatively. What creativity means is more play, as in more curiosity, less about, it's not about wasting time or a distraction in pleasure. It's about being creative in your thoughts, in your intentions, being curious about what will be the results of your actions or what is available as possibilities that didn't exist in the past. So there's some way that you are still grounded perhaps to a certain way of life, certain lifestyle, even in a set of associates or affiliates, family members that have long misunderstood you, not understood you, considered you beyond the realm of conventional or normative behaviors, feel uncomfortable or threatened, are not willing to think along with you or to consider your ideas with any real merit as logical or rational, but see it as outlier energy, threatening energy. So it's almost as though questioning the normative expectation is threatening to many in simpler terms. If this is resonating for you, Aries, please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel, Pacific Tarot. I appreciate all of you that are here with me today. And I'm going to clarify the Five of Pentacles in the past with a couple of cards. There's the Empress, and we have the Queen of Wands. For the Wheel of Fortune in the present, we have the Three of Swords in the Chariot, and the Seven of Swords in the future, the Seven of Wands, and the Two of Pentacles. So the past is being described here as very empowered. What I'm sensing is you distinguishing yourself at a very early age as being the one in control. There's boss-like energy here. There's caretaking energy, absolutely. So for many of you, you had responsibility early on to help in some way, to care for others, to share in perhaps parenting responsibilities with parents. You had a creative vision, a warm vision, a love and embrace of your cultural heritage or your a lineage in a way that glorified or was encouraged by the stories of your ancestors or relatives, interest in your family of origin and ancestry. This is coming through really clearly that you see yourself as part of generations, not simply as an individual, but you feel empowered through that heritage to act with confidence in your embrace, care, and stewardship of those responsibilities that you were gifted in your family with. These weren't always fun. I don't want you to think that they were fun. In fact, often they were enlisted particularly in a survival sense. And that is less associated with money as it is with the sense of emotional keeping up with others, the emotional need to comply with what is normal, with what others are doing, so that even if your family was well resourced, it may have assumed habits of those perhaps like your parents or their parents who had to struggle to survive. So there's a kind of a kind of, I want to say, an insecurity, but that's not really what it is. It's an instability around your resources that stays with you at times, even if you have come to a place of acceptance of your ability to make anything work. And that's part of the Empress's job. She can make anything work. She can work with any group of people. She can sort, organize it, and get it fully operational, fully functional. So these are some of the gifts from your past, even of a scarcity mentality that you may have been exposed to early on. It's the Wheel of Fortune in the present. Often we think of this card as good fortune, and no matter how unstable and chaotic things are feeling for many of you, I want to emphasize that this is essentially a very positive growth. This is one that you are very well prepared for, as overwhelming as it may seem. And what I think is overwhelming is the need to apply what you've learned, to be tangible with your efforts so that they are truly benefiting those that need them. It's the acceptance that we live in a world where no matter how abundant we may feel, there are many people who do not experience that abundance. And the Three of Swords and the Chariot are emphasizing this idea that you have learned to accept your disappointments, your failures as part of learning how to take responsibility for your reality, so that you understand that you don't have to make choices that you know are going to end up as failures or disappointments. You know how they're going to end up, and yet you recognize over time you may have made unfortunate choices repeatedly, falsely believing that empowered you, loving you, was going to meet that in all of your relationships and opportunities. And that hasn't always been the case. But the Chariot is indicating that you are moving forward. You're gaining an emotional resilience that is helping you to recognize, despite the external factors that may be swirling around you, that you are gaining courage, strength, conviction on the path that you know is right for you, but has urgent application for others in the world, for those that don't have the sense of security that you have. And this really is speaking about inner security. This is about establishing, no matter what goes on around you in the world, that you know how to compose yourself, to pull down on your peace of mind, so that you can focus on the things that are important to you. Focus on providing the service, the gifts that you know are available to you and can be useful to others. And in the future, the Seven of Swords, clarified by another Seven of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. So I like the sevens repeating because they're all about you being on that path, you staying on that path for you. And that path is piqued by your curiosity, your releasing expectations. And that in and of itself encourages you to do something that many of you have found in the past difficult to do. And that is setting up clear boundaries with those you love, with those that you ordinarily assist, that you ordinarily want to assist, making sure that you're not overgiving in areas that are distracting or taking you away from exercising your gift, putting together your project, putting your project forward, advancing your ideas in the world. And this is a plan that you are implementing as a result of learning something, being open to something new. And this is important because this is an ideal time. Mercury again is going to be going direct as I'm doing this reading. So by the time you receive this, this will be in effect. Things are being sorted out. And this is important because you've been working on a clear project or collective enterprise with others, and you are having a chance to resort, re-engineer, refocus, readapt a project or make adjustments before you move forward with more clarity about what it is you're actually impacting. And lo and behold, underneath the Seven of Wands was the Star card. This is beautiful. This is very clear that all of this effort to sort, to clarify your boundaries, what your tasks are, what tasks belong to others, what you don't need to address, what others will say that is of no concern to you, because your clarity is with this greater global vision, your greater understanding of the needs of the planet's well-being, and how your understanding of how you find and establish well-being, security, productivity, vision for yourself is something that makes the work that you are intending to do clear and more accessible to you. So this indicates a kind of notoriety, being noticed for what you're doing. And this is beautiful because many of you are working in areas of media, of social service, of presentation, of marketing, of education, where your ideas deserve more traction. And the intention is to share information with more people. And that looks like a very clear and accessible goal to you. So I'm going to finish up this reading, Aries, with a botanical inspiration. And I've pulled the lotus, the sacred lotus. And the key word is enlightenment. No mud, no lotus. So that's about as clear as it gets, I think, for many of you. And this personal flowering of like the 1,000-petaled lotus is important to realize. The lily pad sits on a bed of mud. This grows in sometimes the more stagnant portions of a river or a current, where the lotus actually makes its way through, this beautiful lotus, through what appears to be a lot of unclarity, a lot of muck. And I'm sure some of you feel as though you've been through the muck, sorting through the muck. So thank you for this beautiful reading, Aries. Until next time, namaste.